What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning, so come by and say hello. All right, guys, I wanted to talk about Rebellion in this video. Now, I made a video, I don't know, either a week or two ago about why I think Rebellion is going to be the thing that really sets off the flywheel. And this is all assuming that we get Land first, or Land 1.5, and then Rebellion. But Land 1.5, I think, can eat up a lot of the extra DEC that we have. But now that we have an idea of where Matt is thinking or planning for Rebellion in terms of like what he's hoping from a very conservative estimate that we can do in terms of Rebellion sales, this is like we can go in and start to quantify what that could mean for the game economy. So what do I mean by that? Well, first of all, let's look at DEC supply. We have 4.6 billion here, in which he had talked about this on the last town hall. Somebody brought it up in a question, which I think is great. So 4.6 billion is all that we need to focus on. We'll take his word for it, even though it said there's like 25 billion. But we'll take his word for it. 4.6 billion is the number we need to focus on. And we've been focusing on this number, right? So there's no need to change anything up right now. I just had a natural curiosity for what happened to the other 21 billion that had been minted. So with 4.6 billion, we know that there's a good amount, right? Anywhere like it's about like 1.8 billion that's stuck in liquidity pools and in bridges and all that. But even still, let's say we use the majority of this, right? Let's say we use all 4.6 billion for land. Well, that would actually require then about 60% land utilization, which I think is probably optimistic. You know, my guess is we see anywhere between 20 to 30, maybe 40% at most. And again, it really just depends on how people interact with land once it's out, what kind of returns it's giving, and if people just want to chase things like research tokens and focus on all that. But that's besides the point, right? So either way, if it ends up being smaller or less than what people were expecting, we may not even make as big of a dent in terms of actually using up that 4.6 billion. And what I mean by making a dent is we might use it all up, but we won't get to the point where we start burning SPS for more DEC. So if you get what I'm saying, like land in all its totality for staking, just staking, will require 7.5 billion DEC. So we know at this point, in order to fully utilize land, it's going to cost, you know, 3 billion more than what is currently available on the market. So we would have to print more from SPS, but we don't have that yet. And, you know, I'm just conservatively thinking that we won't actually reach that 7.5 billion for a very long time. In fact, I don't think we're even going to reach 3.75 billion, meaning that we get 50% yet land utilization. So overall, I'm throwing a lot of numbers out there. I'll leave that there with land because I'm going to throw out some more. Okay. So here's where we're at with Rebellion. Now, we don't know what Rebellion is going to look like. We don't know the price points. We don't know how many packs available. That being said, Matt did say it's probably going to be a similar price point to Chaos, so I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing $4 or 4,000 DEC. Now, granted, there's arguments that can be made that maybe they, you know, go with what Rift Watchers was, which is $5 a pack or 5,000 DEC. Maybe they lower it slightly to $3. I don't know how vouchers are going to play into this. I'm not even assuming anything about vouchers at this point in time. What I'm trying to get at is if we use that 4,000 DEC as a baseline and then take Matt's comments about how we're probably going to have 15 million packs available for the entire run, but we'll have a daily or a regular burn mechanic implemented from day one. It's not something that we'll vote on later or we'll add later. It's just something that will be there from day one as part of the design and have Chaos last for only, you know, about a year, maybe 9 months to a year based on Aggie's previous comments, although Matt might be running things differently now. With that being the case, then his expectation, which he revealed on the last town hall, is that the company would be okay if we sold only 2 to 3 million packs. All right. So, and again, we're not going to get into the whole company revenue and how that would be, but keep in mind that half of that does go to the company. The other half goes to the DAO. But that's all irrelevant because it should be coming from the DEC, right? If you want to buy packs, you're going to have to pay DEC. I'll get to credits in a second. So if you take that 4,000 DEC, multiply it by 2 million packs, again, just going on the low side, conservative end of his argument here, what ends up happening is then you get 8 billion DEC that would be required to fulfill those purchases, okay? Of which half would go to the team, the other half would go to the DAO. Here's the thing though, as I mentioned with credits earlier, what happens if people decide to buy with credits rather than with DEC? Well, I'm glad you asked, because my assumption would be, based on how Matt is planning to design this, and again, we don't have the full proposal yet, but we do have his initial thoughts that he laid out in the previous post. It would be that, let's say somebody comes in and they use a credit card, swipe it, and they pay $4. Team receives $4 in their bank. What should happen is that $2 of that should go to the DAO, but it'll probably be designed as such, especially if DEC is well below peg, where it's not going to be $2. It'll be 2,000 DEC for each pack. So the team will then be paying on behalf of the customer, right? We're coming in, and instead of paying 4,000 DEC, you pay with a credit card, you pay with fiat, whatever the case is. The team will then take, for every pack sold, 2,000 DEC either out of their coffers, or take your $2, take $2 of what you gave them and buy the DEC off the market, right? Ideally, it'd be great for them to buy the DEC off the market, but I think from tracking perspective and not worrying about the total price, and for it to be a product-backed stablecoin, just keep it at 2,000 DEC. So you take that 8 billion, and worst case scenario, let's say everybody buys with fiat the entire time. That's still 4 billion DEC. Now, 4 billion DEC is not as much as we have now, right? It's 4.6 billion currently in circulation, but keep in mind there's like 200 million of that in the DAO already for Riftwatcher sales. And don't forget about land. Land is going to utilize a lot more than 400 million DEC, in my opinion. So, you know, just going with the slower, or not slower, but the smaller range for that, right? A smaller end of the range of 2 million packs being sold, which I actually think is still doable. I know, I get the skepticism out there. Trust me, I'm with you guys. I have a lot of skepticism as well, but I do think that there's a lot of support. There's a lot of kind of new energy or rekindled energy from people who want to see what Matt can do and are excited for him implementing his vision. I actually think 2 million packs is very achievable. Now, 2 million packs on day one or month one? No, absolutely not. But I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of the run, right? So let's say this goes for all of 2024 or for a full year into 2024, it does provide 2 million packs. I think we can hit that. And if the team and if Matt is saying that based on his calculations, they'll be able to run just fine with that set, 2 million packs, I think it's doable. In fact, I would say if we look at it at 3 million packs, for example, right? And again, this was his range, conservative range. So if you go to the high end of his conservative range now, well, all of a sudden, 3 million packs, 4,000 DEC, the math is easy. 12 billion DEC, 3 times what we have available right now. And then you say, well, let's say half of that goes to credits. Boom, 6 billion, more than we have available now. That would still be required to go into the DAO. So, you know, lots to think about, lots to consider there. Again, I don't think that this is going to be something that comes and saves the game overnight, but it will require a significant amount of SPS being burned. And my hope is that, you know, of course, I want SPS to moon, but while it is so low, I hope people do feel the need to start burning what they have, or burning from their you know, stacks before going out and buying some, therefore raising the price. We want to get rid of as much SPS as possible to get this flywheel started. So we'll see how that plays out. But just wanted to share some of those numbers with you guys. It is somewhat bullish when you think about it from a very conservative standpoint using Matt's conservative numbers. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I will catch you all in the next video and see you around the game. Take care.